A little bit about my background. Grew up in Louisiana. My dad was the head deacon at the church. Grandfather was a minister. So we were in church all the time. But it was one of those things where I saw what my dad was doing, what my mom was doing, what my grandparents were doing, all these different things that were going on in the church. And that was what I thought you were just supposed to do. And after a while, just totally honest, it becomes a chore, but you continue to do it because it's the right thing to do. So I continue to grow up, even in college, still active in the church, doing different things and so on and so forth. Graduate, moved to Texas from Louisiana. And the first thing I did, because I knew my dad was going to ask, was join a church. Now, what are you doing in the church? So you get busy getting busy. You know, you're doing all these different things, involved in the ministry, and I was in the choir, also helped with the parking lot. So I joined this men's Bible study, and I have a good friend of mine that actually went to school with me, college with me, a little bit older than I am, that was teaching it. So one night we were going through Romans, and I'll never forget, it was the third Tuesday in January in 1989. He started talking about our relationship with Christ and what that relationship is about. And it's not drudgery. It's not out of necessity. It's because of how much He loved us that we do for Him. And it clicked. Now, mind you, I've been in church all my life, and I've been hearing these stories, been reading scripture, but understanding that relationship made a difference. And I decided that night that I was going to change my relationship with Him. And we prayed, and I prayed again after the service was over. I actually went out in the car and sat there and prayed for another 30 minutes. And it's amazing. I kid you not. When I stopped praying, everything changed for me. When I turned my life over to Christ, a whole lot of things got clearer. I didn't struggle as much because He was laying it all out for me. He was the one that made sure that I understood what it is that I needed to do in that situation. And even if He didn't give me all of the information, I still had peace about doing it because I knew He had me covered. If your focus is on just being a church worker and being busy because that's what you're supposed to do out of responsibility, out of duty, I understand. Been there, done that. But if you turn your relationship over to Christ, if you turn your thoughts, your decisions over to Him and submit to Him and allow Him to guide you, He will make your life so much easier. And your burdens will be so much, it becomes a joy instead of something that you do out of obligation. So I encourage everybody, if you want to make it your time of being a blessing in ministry easier, allow Christ to control your decisions. Allow Christ to control how you see things. Look at things through His lens, through His perspective. Learn how to be a blessing instead of just another worker. And He'll change your whole perspective. He'll blow your mind.